Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are on the unceded territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples, and I'm very grateful to be able to live, work, and play on these beautiful lands. Today is day 2 of the beach start quest. So today I think we're in a better, more suitable place for me to start this journey or to continue this journey. You can see by the water here, it's a lot calmer. Last time when I was in Carcross on Bennett Lake, we had a lot of onshore wind coming, and we had a whole bunch of little wakes creating some instability when I was trying to get onto the board. And today we have some really calm waters here. We have a couple swimmers here creating some ripples, but I think we'll be okay with that. And also I went out and I got myself the 725 mast. The 795 mast is the mast that I've been using the whole duration, pretty much the whole duration while I've been dock starting and pumping and my first day of beach starting. But I realized that it's a little bit too long. Just that extra, what is it, 7.5 centimeters, which is approximately 4 inches or so. It makes it a little bit trickier to jump onto the board. I'm hoping a little shorter board will help, and supposedly it's also supposed to help with the pumping as well. It creates a lot more stability. You don't have as much distance from your feet to the foil, so stability wise it should also help. So without further ado, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to first start by just getting used to running with the board, I suppose, getting acclimatized to the length of the mast, because it feels a lot shorter. Usually the mast is up here and it feels a lot shorter. I just want to get used to running in the water with this shorter mast, and then we'll progress and hopefully be able to eventually beach start. The other good thing about this spot is that the sand is relatively firm, so it's going to really help with me being able to get some stability and also spring when I jump onto the board. If the sand is pretty soft, it really absorbs all of your energy and you can't get enough vertical to get onto the board. This is nice and firm, as well as the slope of the beach, the way it descends, is going to be hopefully ideal. I'm going to try to play around with a couple steps, and ultimately I'm hoping that by the time I attempt to jump on the board, the water is going to be about waist height, so that it won't have implications on my foil hitting the bottom of or the ground. All right, let's get our helmet on, and we'll see how this goes. Yeah, it feels really good with this mast. I'm just getting used to having the mast, playing around with my hand position as well. What I'm finding is that as soon as I progress and start moving in the water, I like transferring my lead hand onto the board where my feet are going to be. It just gives me a little bit more control. So this seems like a good spot. I think when you're starting, you really want to find the ideal location to make it that much easier. As you progress, obviously, once you get better and better, you can pretty much launch off of any beach. It's also similar to with dock starting. When I started dock starting, it was really tricky even in ideal conditions, but I've gotten to the point where you can introduce me to pretty much any dock and I'll have confidence and be able to launch. Right now, I haven't been able to land one dock start, so we're gonna try to, or beach start, so we're gonna try to look for the most ideal conditions. All right, feels pretty good. I'm able to jump and get some pretty good glide on the foil. I'm getting comfortable with sort of flying the foil with my hands before I start initiating getting my legs up onto the board. It takes a little bit of coordination and syncing things up because you're running, you're also flying the board with your hands, and just getting used to flying the board with your hands. That felt pretty good. Now I'm gonna run and I'm gonna see if I can get my back leg onto the board. All right, I was able to get the back leg onto the board, and then you saw that as soon as I put my back leg up, I had too much pressure on the back and the board went straight up. So what I'll have to do is put the back leg onto the board and ensure that my body weight is far enough forward so I can get some glide before I try to get my front foot onto the board. Oh, that last one felt really good. Okay, I think I'm ready to try to get my front foot onto the board now. I psyched myself out again. All right, I got my front foot on the board. This is what I experienced in Bennett Lake. Had a little bit of difficulty getting my front foot to the front of the board. I think it has something to do, as soon as I put my back leg on, the weight makes my board go like this. So I have to try to put my back leg maybe further forward. So when I put my back leg's weight on it, it doesn't immediately get the nose to go up. Bang my right knee. Ow. It is good to learn with neoprene on, just because you're dealing with sharp edges with the foil as well as very hard board and everything else that's made out of carbon fiber. So now we're at this point where we can get the back leg on. The challenge now is getting that front leg under and on closer to the nose of the board. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I have enough room, and this might be flexibility issues with my right hip and ab strength issues, is I'm not able to pull that knee right up to my chest and squeeze it. I almost have to pull it up and then kick it so that it goes to as far to the nose of the board as possible. Yeah, definitely. This is going to be the hardest part of my beach starting journey, is finding a way that once I'm up like this, getting that lead foot to kick under and as far forward to the front of the board as possible. All right, so similar to when I started dock starting is I put in my mind that I need speed on the launch. The more speed you have, the more stability you have in the foil. So I'm gonna go with that same mental thought is I gotta get speed on that launch. It'll give me a lot more time to adjust because there's a lot more stability on that foil. It increases that margin of error by tenfold. It makes it so much easier. So my launch process is going to be lots of speed coming out of the gate. The speed is also helping me with getting a good jump onto the board. The more speed you have, there's inertia, and so you get way more spring. I'm able to get both feet on the board. Getting that front foot further up the board, trying to keep that nose of the board down is causing me trouble right now. That time I was thinking about getting my left foot further to the front of the board, which caused me to nosedive. But I think that might also be a key component, is my back foot was too far back on the board, causing the nose to go up. So I'm gonna try to get my back foot, when it lands, closer to a neutral position so that the board just continues gliding. That time went too far forward, so it nosedived. I want to get in a neutral position so it just keeps going. Gives me enough time to get my other foot onto the board. I'm going to try practicing just getting my back foot on the board and continuing a glide. Right now, there's just so much instability as soon as I put that back foot on the board. I want to see if I can get that back foot on the board and figure out a neutral position with the rest of my body so I'm gliding. And then I think getting that lead foot to the front of the board will be a little easier. Yeah, getting that back foot on the board is not the issue anymore. It's more that front lead foot. I don't have the flexibility or the strength to be able to kick it up closer to the nose of the board. I have to keep working on that. So I'm gonna do reps where I'm basically just going on my back foot or getting my back foot on the board and gliding, and then intermittently trying to get that lead foot onto the board as close to the nose as possible. Okay, I think I caught something. So when I have my arms positioned straight out and extended, it feels like I'm getting a better launch as I run. I'm keeping the board far away from my body, like so, rather than in tight. When I go in tight, for some reason, I'm not getting that push. If I'm far away here, as I'm jumping, I'm pushing down like this, trying to create as much space here as possible, like I'm swooping down. It seems to be working. I'm just swooping down like this. Every time I try to get I think about getting my front leg onto the top of the board, I think my brain is moving too fast, so I don't get quite the launch that I typically would get, because I'm getting some pretty good launches where I can get my back foot onto the board and glide, but I think I'm doing well with that, and then all of a sudden I think, okay, I'll get my front foot on, and then everything just breaks down. But I'll keep trying. I think it's just developing that muscle memory, just doing it over and over and over again. All right, I'm consistently able to get a good launch with both feet on the board. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but the issue for me is getting that right leg or the lead leg further up the board. Easier said than done, because I keep telling myself, okay, get that leg up, get the leg up, and for some reason it wants to go right beside my back foot. All right, that time I was able to get it right about there on the board, but I was completely off balance. So now we just have to tweak it, get it on the board as far forward as possible in balance. That one looked really awkward, but surprisingly it didn't hurt. But I was able to get my front foot in a decent position, just wasn't able to hold that glide. Okay, that last one, I was able to get my front foot in a decent position. So what I tried to do is, on my launch, I'm putting my lead hand further forward up the board. Before, on my launch, I would have my hands here. Now I'm pushing them up further forward. Maybe that's gonna help get my lead foot under. Maybe because I'm here, my lead foot's going here. Maybe if I put my front hand here, my lead foot will end up just behind it. I think I'm gonna go back to just getting that back foot under the board and gliding and just doing it over and over and over again to get that repetition, that muscle memory into the system. Just glide and try to get into as good a position to be able to swing my lead foot under. And I won't start incorporating that lead foot coming under until I can pretty much get my back foot on the board and glide in my sleep. But I'm going to keep doing just going under the board with my back foot and trying to get a really good glide.